Alright, hello my fans. Yep, it is another video. And this one is about dating. Something I'm not that experienced with. But don't worry. Okay, maybe do worry if you're taking advice from someone that doesn't even. Yeah, don't worry about that. But look, I've come to a couple conclusions, and I want to just put my opinion out there and see what and see what you guys think about it. So there's a lot of questions surrounding dating. I have like a whole Word document here with like a lot of questions that I'm gonna try and answer. And so this all kind of started when I saw this Hamza video. Hamza Ahmed, this is a self-improvement guy, and so basically he says like he posted a video like a couple months back about when is the right time to start dating, and he gives like a decent opinion. I think it's a bit more nuanced than what I originally thought he was gonna say, but I think it's fairly valid. Go watch that video if you haven't, so that you can sort of understand what I'm saying a bit more as well. But I kind of want to like dissect it a bit and just like try and tell you what I think about this whole situation. So I think I agree with him on one thing, and that is, well, a couple of things, but one of those things is okay, let me go back. Let me rewind. To understand when we should start dating, we must first understand why we date in the first place. And I think this is where me and Hamza would agree, and that would be you date to find your wife, and that's it. You shouldn't really be dating to just, have fun and shit like that and just, get pleasure, because what's the point in doing all that? If you just wanted pleasure, why don't you just go on Pornhub and start fapping, or go get a prostitute, or go to some club, get some drunk girl, and then get busy? Why don't you just do that, huh? It doesn't really make sense to me. Shit, my dad nearly just caught me talking about all this bullshit. Anyway, okay, back to what I was saying. So yeah, why else would you date other than actually trying to get in a serious relationship with a girl, is what I wanted to say. Yeah, the only reason you should really be dating is for that. And I think a lot of people would agree with that. And if you go into it with a different mindset, like, just trying to, have fun and, get the sort of romantic feelings of love, but it's not really love, is it, if you're not actually trying to get into a relationship with them? And if you're just doing it just for that, and the other person is doing it because they actually wanted to get into a relationship, this clash of two different reasons why you want to date will be the end of their relationship in the first place. It's not going to last. So if you are getting into a relationship, then you need to be clear about what you're trying to seek out of it. If you just want pleasure, then say it. Say you just want this to be casual. If you want this to be serious, then let them know. And don't fear that. If you think, oh no, this girl's gonna dump me, then if I say I actually want to get in a serious relationship, then why are you even with this girl in the first place? Just for pleasure? If it's just for pleasure, then you can do those things that I was saying earlier. So yeah, just The only real reason to start dating is to find your wife. That's it. Okay, so a notion that's sort of come about in the sort of self improvement space is fuck women. No, don't like. Not like actually fuck women. Just avoid women and focus on yourself. You know, get grinding, king, and all that bullshit. And that's what it is. It's bullshit. I mean, to a certain extent, yeah, I sort of agree with it. But let's like break it down. Self improvement isn't just about, you know, getting money and getting jacked and these sorts of things. It's holistic. It involves several things, not just that. And in one of those things, in this holistic self improvement, would be learning to express oneself, to how to communicate well. And you can only learn to do something well is the only way you can really do that is if you practice. It's the same with a lot of things. Or you're just one of those bastards that's just born with it. But shut the fuck up. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about your average Joe that has never once felt a woman's touch in their life. That's who I'm trying to talk to. Okay. Since the only way to improve communication is to just practice it, then by, going on your grind and shit like that, you're literally intentionally stopping your self improvement in this one area. And so, yeah, it's kind of dumb, I can't lie. And self improvement doesn't have to be just like you can only focus on one field at a time, because that's just not true. You don't have to only, like, my only goal for the next 6 months is to get jacked, and then the next 6 months is to get rich. It doesn't have to be like that. You can do multiple things simultaneously, but yeah, it is valid to say too many things wouldn't be that effective. Like, imagine if you're like, okay, I want to get rich, I want to get jacked, I want to get good at talking to women, I want to play NBA basketball, I want to be an Olympic swimmer. You got all these different things, and there probably isn't enough time for all of them. But if it's like 3 or 4 things, I think that's manageable. So yeah, it doesn't have to be just one thing at a time. And so by just avoiding women completely, you're diminishing your self improvement. Okay, so we shouldn't avoid women, but then should we go out of our way to try and attract women? So this is another like curveball I see in this masculinity space. They say it's not masculine to go out of your way to try and seduce a woman. And I was also struggling to get around this one. I was thinking, how, yeah, I do agree with that actually. Isn't it like the woman who's trying to seduce the man, not the other way around? And the modern system sort of flipped it on its head, and I'm now effeminate if I try and like seduce a woman. But I don't think that's the case. I think, and I was quite confused about this, and so I ended up resorting to asking good old ChatGPT this, and it actually gave me a good answer. To be fair, it was basically saying, yeah, in a way, it's more masculine to like not chase women, but on the other side of things, is it really masculine to sit back and be passive almost, and let some other guy who has the balls to go up to these women take them from you? Think about it like that. There's like a woman in front of you, and then there's you and some other guy, and it really is a competition between you and that guy to get to that woman first, is it not? And if you say, "Oh no, I'm masculine, if I just stay back," then the other guy's just gonna go, "Oh, this guy's staying back. I'm gonna just go, bro." So yeah, you need You need to grow some balls, bro, and go out there. Don't take it as an excuse, thinking, oh, it's not masculine to chase women, to sit back and be passive. This is something that I believed for a long time, actually. Don't do that. You need to go out there. Okay, so when actually should you start dating? So my first immediate response when I was, journaling about this idea was as soon as you hit puberty, because that's sort of like the nature's time. It's telling you, okay, now this is a time when you should start going out looking for women because you have the ability now to ejaculate. As soon as you have that ability, you have the ability to create a baby, which means at that point you should be starting to look for your wife. That was my initial mindset. But I was thinking, okay, but what about late bloomers? Does that mean that if they're like if they only uh go through puberty at the age of, I don't know, 18 or something, this happens as well. That means they shouldn't be looking for women anytime before that. And I was thinking, no, not necessarily. And so then I sort of slightly revised it to, okay, you should start looking for women as soon as you start getting crushes on women, start getting romantic attachments to women. So this works a bit better because it's not dependent on puberty, which can happen whenever. Like you can't control it. This one, it's a bit more in your hands, if you get what I mean. And so, as soon as you feel that attraction, then you should go after it. And so I was like, okay, that makes a bit more sense, yeah. But there are problems with that as well, which I will get into. The thing with crushes, though, is if you have to be certain that this crush is sort of authentic to you. It's not like other people sort of telling you. So what I mean by this is, let's say you're just like, minding your own business, and there's some girl in your class, and you're like, oh yeah, whatever, like, it's just a girl. But then, some friends of yours are like, yeah, bro, she's mad cute. She's actually hella attractive, and like saying all this bullshit. And then you look at this girl again, and you're like, oh shit, yeah, she's the love of my life. Yeah, I need to go after. You see that difference is influenced by your friends, and it's not. You don't actually think that. So that's something that you need to be careful about with crushes. Is it actually you that has a crush on her, or is it your friends and you just want to impress them by bagging this baddie? Is that all it is? So yeah, you need to actually ask yourself: could this woman be my wife? If the answer to that question is yeah, then hell yeah, you should go after this woman, bro. Because you're just gonna leave her so for some other guy to go become her hobby. That's what they say, right? But yeah, so yeah, don't just sit back and let him take her. Yeah, there's probably something wrong with what I'm saying, like the language, like of this like possessive shit. But just forget that for now. I'm just trying to convey a point, but I don't believe that women are property and all that. Okay, anyway, okay, so other than so far we have these two conditions. One is you have romantic feelings for this woman, and it is you who has this feeling for this woman, not other people. I mean, other people can, but it's because you have to be the one that has these feelings for the woman in the first place. And the second condition is you can realistically imagine this woman to be your wife, and this word realistically is important as well. Don't just be like, oh yeah, that girl over there, she could be my wife. But then when you really examine it, when you really like look at like what kind of person she is, you see, she actually drinks alcohol like every weekend. Oh shit, she's also a serial smoker. She has addictions. Oh shit, look at her TikTok. Look, all she does is shake her ass for all these guys. Okay, maybe it's not realistic for her to be your wife. Just you have to have like the emotional maturity to just park your feelings aside and really look at it like rationally and assess whether this woman could actually be your wife. And if the answer to that is yes, then you've passed condition 2 of my conditions for when you should start dating. Yeah, so it is important that you are a good judge of character and you're not avoiding these red flags. So, as I said about the drinking and whatnot and all that. I mean, if you're okay with that, then yeah, sure, I guess. But it kind of depends on your standards as well. But just know that if your wife is someone that drinks and smokes and shit, I don't know how healthy your child will be. They might have like some genetic deformities and shit. I don't know. Don't take my word for that. But like, look into it and shit and just be careful. Don't just be blinded by your feelings. That's all I'm trying to say. It's kind of like the Jedi and the Sith in Star Wars. They're sort of two different extremes, actually. Yeah, it's actually quite an interesting representation. The Sith sort of tap into their feelings too much, and they rely, purely on their feelings. While the Jedi are like sort of, they put their feelings aside. They think their feelings are not part of who they are, and they don't want to cloud their judgment. They say that a lot. They don't want to cloud their judgment with feelings, but part of your judgment is feelings. So, pay attention to your feelings, but also think about it rationally as well. It's not, just be purely rational or be purely emotional. It is a combination of both. Okay, that was a bit of a side tangent. My bad. The next bit is quite important. You should only date women that reciprocate your feelings. Don't be pursuing women that don't give a fuck about you, bro. Let me give an example. Imagine you have like, you're some Jack's guy, you've put in the work, you've gotten rich and shit, and you're really putting effort into the relationship. You're like trying to arrange meetups and stuff, and have interesting, deep conversations about your aspirations and stuff. But imagine the girl on the other side is just like not giving a fuck. Like she's just like always on her phone texting. It always seems like she's like sort of absent-minded. She's not really putting in work. Like you're saying like, oh yeah, let's meet up here. She's like, oh, I don't think I can do that. And then next week you ask again, you're like, oh, sorry, something's come up. I mean, yeah, maybe something really has come up, but like, if it's repeated, I think it's foolish to, not see a pattern there. And, you need to be responsible for yourself. You need to, have respect for yourself. Like, if this woman isn't respecting your time, then how can you respect yourself if you continue to pursue her? Think about it. Now, the other last condition that I want to bring up is this woman doesn't distract you from your mission, but actually pushes you closer towards it. Oh yeah, think about it like this. Okay, let's say I want to become Jack. That's like one of my goals. It doesn't have to be those grandiose goals that I was talking about earlier. Let's say I have to go that I want to be jacked. Then I start like hanging out with my girl, but then she has a bit of a soft spot for ready salted Walker's crisps. Okay, sure. I guess I'll just buy her chips and she can have them, but I won't eat them. But then you're sitting down, you're like watching the movie, and then you look aside. Oh shit, this crisp's looking real. Oh shit, and and it just starts to fall apart. Then you're like, oh, let me grab one, bro. Oh, how about another? And then you end up buying a whole packet just for yourself. And look how it's all fallen apart. Just because of this girl, your goals have been undermined. So you got to be careful. You got to be authentic. This is something that I will talk about in the next video, about authenticity, and it's quite a hard thing to be good at actually. But you have to be honest about what your goals are, and if she's not aligning with your goals, then she's not the right one for you, bro. Yeah, it's as simple as that. Now, with this whole thing of like red flags and things that I was on about earlier, I have an actionable step for you. So as soon as this video ends, which will be in like 2 minutes or something, I don't even know, I need you to create your bare minimum standards for your wife quality woman. So I'll say a couple on my list. I don't want to be too, intrusive into my thoughts about the internet, but I'll share a couple with you. Be physically attractive to me. How am I gonna be with someone for the rest of my life if I don't even like the way that they look? That's just something for me. You may call it vain, but I think that is a valid condition that I have. Another one is someone who has appreciation for family life, because I'm someone that wants to have a family, and if she's like, oh no, I want to be a working mom, I want to be a boss bitch, a queen, all that, a slave queen, yeah, all that shit, bro. If she's got a different mindset, like, yeah, I don't want to have kids, bro, and I'm like, oh yeah, I want to have a whole flipping clan after me, then I think we got a problem there. There's a mismatch in core desires. I don't know. And another one I'll say is someone that I need my wife to be someone who encourages my own growth. So that's what I was talking about earlier with like not detracting from my own goals, but also pushing me closer to them. Like if she notices that lately I've been getting up a bit later, then I want my wife to be someone that's gonna be like, yo, I noticed that you're slacking on your sleep schedule. What's going on, bro? And helps me towards them. That's, I don't know. It might be words of a hopeless romantic, but that's what I want. I guess when I do eventually get in a real relationship, we'll see how this all stands up. But I think it's interesting to put my opinions out there as current 16-year-old me and see how future me would think of this. Oh yeah, and one last thing. With each of these conditions in your bare minimum, standards, it really has to be a bare minimum, okay? And to make sure it is, the bare minimum standards, I need you to do rigorous testing for each of these conditions. So I need you to ask yourself, can I imagine a world where my wife doesn't have this quality? So, can I imagine a world where my wife is someone that I am not physically attracted to? And if you can imagine a world like that, then it's not a bare minimum standard, is it then? Then you gotta remove that off your list, or at least revise it in some sort of way. So go through your whole list and see what you've come up with. Take as many rounds of revision of this list as you need, and then come up with a list of your bare minimum standards, and I don't know, maybe post it in the comments if you're feeling social. Yeah, anyway, that's it. Bye.